Hello, guys, and welcome to a new episode of Decentra Talks. I am Ciro, the host, and today I have with me Greg. Could you please introduce yourself?
Hey guys, I'm Greg. I'm technical leader at Vitresoft company based in Poland. We are doing game hosting service, mostly Minecraft, but we hope to change that soon.
What other games are you trying to start hosting?
Probably Terraria. Maybe we'll get into CSGO because it's like trendy, and we'll see because there are lots of games coming up years to self-host, and we are doing mostly like this kind of sandbox games. Like I don't know if you heard about Hightail or.
I didn't. I think I understand the game genre though.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of like Roblox and
Yeah,
Minecraft.
yeah.
Okay. So your company. Can you remind me of the name of the company?
Vitresoft.
Vitresoft.
And our product is CraftServe.
CraftServe.
Yeah.
So your company basically specializes in hosting Minecraft servers for people.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know Minecraft, you probably know how the game works, but if you want to play with other people, you usually have to do the hosting part yourself, so that other people can access the server and like play in your world. So I'm assuming that's what you've been focused on. Can you please tell me how you got started with this?
So I get recruited by some friends because my boss wanted to take a product to the next level, to like move out from Poland, and we started to think about how we should do it because our product was like released 10 years ago right now, so we are like longest game hosting company here in Poland. We took a nice market share in Poland, but like for every company, when you scale big, there's not lots of place to expand. Mm-hmm. So we want to take to the Germany, to the whole Europe, and my boss wanted to make it happen, and I was recruited to do that. That was my like specific thing to do, and I'm doing this since 4 years right now.
Okay, got it. You said you have the majority of the market share here in Poland. What you guys do?
Yeah.
So what? You said that it's difficult scaling something when it gets to a larger size.
Yeah.
What is the difficulty exactly?
Okay, so when you have like big market share in some country, and you have basically, like in our situation, we don't have any real competitors. You need to focus how to optimize your costs, right? Because I mean, if you cannot get much more clients, where should you make profit? So you're optimizing costs. Mm-hmm. And like always, when you optimize cost that much, when you are at the level when you cannot optimize anymore because you will lose quality of your services, you need to gather more clients. So if you took one of the country's market share, like it's Poland, we are speaking Polish here, we have Polish product, we are gathering Polish customers, it is hard for us to go to the English client, like English-speaking client or German-speaking client. So the biggest problem is when you start at these countries, you create a product, you create marketing around that in specific language. Any other people from other countries, they don't know about your product.
I see.
So you need to go to them and like create, like whole new language version of your page. That's easy, but how do you gather clients? I mean, having page with the language that they are speaking, it's not enough. So you need to do marketing, and to do a marketing, you need to know the market, how your customers are, what they are interested in, what they are looking for in such a company, etc. So this is the biggest problem. So how to go to the client, and for us. It is, for a long time we have been optimizing the cost, how we do our company, and now it's the time to go to the other clients because there is no room for scaling on the performance.
And I assume it's difficult to, for example, charge the current client bases more for the services. It's not something that could be justified.
I mean, it can be justified in certain ways because in Poland we have high inflation right now.
Yeah.
But I mean, if we raise the prices, probably our servers will cost more because I mean, we have inflation. Germany has inflation. We have our machines in Germany. They are charging us for machines in Germany. We are paying in euro. So we are raising only our prices when the machines are getting more expensive. And like Polish clients, it is good to be not too expensive, not too cheap. We are just in the middle of that, and there is no room for maybe 5 zloty more or maybe 5 zlotys less, but it's not that big of a difference.
I see. And when I think about like the problem that you're currently addressing here, you definitely have to move out of the country and find different target audiences to push this product to. So I know that you're interested from past discussions in expanding towards the German side. Have you ever made considerations in expanding towards the Eastern side? Since one of the things that you mentioned is the language barrier, and Slavic languages are close enough to each other that it's easier for people to, without having to make big changes, it's easier to get people on.
Yeah, but I mean the problem with the eastern side of Europe is that, for example, now in Ukraine there's war.
Yeah.
So it's. I mean, I know that there are people living there, and maybe they need to play some games, but I mean, it's not stable market.
I see, yeah.
And we are talking about like countries Belarus, Russia, Litva, etc. And the problem with these countries is that these players are not interested in Minecraft that much, like German players, like Netherlands players, like I don't know, Belgian players. And even if they would be more interested, like we are still getting from a German client paid in euro, which is like much better currency than exists in Lithuania or Russia, right?
Yeah, so it also helps because you are hosting the machines in Germany, so you have to pay that in euros, so it can kind of feed itself, and then profit could come from here.
Yeah.
You mentioned marketing, so this is an issue I see a lot of companies in my space have, in the crypto world, in the tech world. Most of the people that I work with are not very like people savvy. They don't know how to market themselves. They don't know how to market their products. So now that you've done research and you know where you want to go next, what are some marketing strategies that you think you're going to be using?
Okay, so as long as my company exists, and that's what my boss did when he created this company, was alongside, because white players choose games. Nowadays, it's mostly because of trends, and trends are created by content creators. For example, Twitch streamers, YouTubers, etc. So what my boss did was getting along with Twitch streamers, YouTubers from Polish gaming scene to make for them like this server when they can play together, right? And for that, if they are playing together, like multiple biggest streamers on in Polish gaming scene are playing the same game, viewers of these streamers are interested in playing that game too. And when they're interested in playing that game, they're choosing to where to the host. And as we have like biggest market share, they choose us in most cases. So we are focusing on more of creating a trend for the game to keep game going on. Like it must be interesting for people. Than marketing our product like solely, because we could market our company like, oh, best hosting Minecraft hosting company ever, blah blah blah. But if people are not playing Minecraft, they won't choose our company to host servers. So we are most focused on creating trends. Like we need to create a simple demand for our services. And I think like, because nowadays Twitch, YouTube, and other platforms like TikTok, Instagram, it should be common for companies to reach to the streamers and content creators to market not the product itself, I mean alongside with the product, but also creating this demand. Like if the content creators will create for their viewers and for their fans demand for something, for your services, you will get instantly, like, for example, 40% of viewers of certain influencer will choose your company, for example. So I think that many companies do the part, oh, we are promoting our company, but we are not promoting, we are not creating this demand. And like, if you're a big company in some kind of niche, you need to create demand for your services, because there's not, I mean, for example, for Minecraft, there's not lots of demand if we are not promoting this. So
one thing that I get a lot from my work and my coworkers is, if the product is good enough, people are going to use it, right? But I think it's good to give thought to, how do we prove that this product is good, that this is a good thing to invest your time and energy and money into. Because a lot of people, they just assume that as long as the thing is there, people will eventually use it because it's better than other things. So you do have to create a demand. And also, when you're built on top of something, because your company is built on top of Minecraft at the moment, right?
Yeah.
If you don't push the underlying company or service, you're really you're selling yourself short, and you're not doing the right thing. This comes to mind because I'm in a current situation with a company that I work with. It's a similar situation in terms that we're built on something else, and we don't market, we don't push our product, we don't try to explain to people why to use this. So it's good to hear this from someone else, and it gives some perspective. I wanted to talk to you, maybe, I don't know if we should talk about this. If we shouldn't, I can cut it out. But you did say you're interested in probably starting doing modding for Minecraft. Is that something that you're willing to talk about?
Yeah, so Minecraft is a game that can be modded by players. It can be modded by coders. And the fun fact about that is it's performance. There are lots of performance costs on that, because mods are client-sided mostly. They can be server-sided, but this is like very unstable thing, because I don't know, like in every game that has mods like Skyrim, Minecraft, etc., these mods can be written good, can be written purely. People are still using that mods. These mods stack up on each other, and they are like costing a performance, right? So we will try to make the mods promoted and try to stabilize this whole ecosystem. That was the fight versus our potential competitors will be. So when you have some kind of niche and you have competitors, you can fight with them on the price, you can fight with them on the market share, but you also can fight with them on the features that you offer. If they do not offer the same features as you do, because you have like lots of features that they cannot easily adapt, you are the winner. If these features are wanted by your customer. And when we were talking about mods, is that it's not easy to get this working. So we try to take this whole Minecraft mod ecosystem and try to stabilize it and host it in our company, in our website. Like, we'll give ability for our customers to easily host Minecraft servers with mods, and we know that if we do it right, and if we do it with like friendly user interface, it will be easy for them to use. It will be easy for them to mod that game and like give another, I don't know, like second living to the game, right? Because by expanding game, you're giving yourself more time to have fun with. So if we will do it right, we'll know that our competitors will be having problems with that. And when they will have problems with that, will easily get like all of the customers that wanted that in the first place. Because why should they host in our competitor if our competitor does not offer them that many features as we do? So for us, it's like a bit fighting against competitors. Like we try to pick up fight before we even have our troubles, because as long as we don't move out from Poland, we don't have competitors, many competitors. But as long as we'll stay in Poland, we are trying to create these features and then move out from Poland. Our competitors will see, okay, another hosting, nothing special, right?
Mm-hmm.
But customers will see, oh, another hosting. I can host Minecraft servers with mods there. In our competitors, they cannot. And the customers will slowly get to us. And competitor will have problem, because when the market is stable, no one is expanding, no one is changing their product, right? I mean, most of the cases, I think. Like when companies tend to stabilize, oh, we don't need to do much because we have good income, we have good profits, we shouldn't change anything, maybe a little bit of marketing to keep that going. And if we'll like attack other market with the bigger set of features, we want to like gather as many as customers in like this time before our competitors will know that, okay, they have new feature, we don't have that feature, we need to implement. So we will have like some kind of overhead over them. So
I understand. The way I envision this is I personally I like playing. One of my favorite things when I was younger is playing ROM hacks. Have you ever heard of that?
no.
So like you have the basic Pokemon games on the Nintendo Switch or whatever, or the DS or the Game Boy. Some people, they take the code out of the game, and then they modify it, and then you can use that, install it on your phone, and play it in an emulator.
Okay.
And I had spent countless hours playing stuff like that, because it gives this thing that eventually it gets boring. Like you said, I really liked Pokemon growing up. It was my favorite game, and I feel like in the last 25 years it didn't really change. It's the same game, just with a different skin every year, and it gets boring. And people are able to innovate on top of that because there's no risk. And with Pokemon, they just have a constant amount of people coming in, and that's going to be the same for as long as the company's going. So with younger people, they're able to like take that and change it and make something really different. It does bring a fresh air into the game, and it makes it feel better. So I would envision having this type of you can choose your own mods, and then you can also host it at the same time. Yeah. So a bit of a technical question: are you going to be doing the hosting? Are you going to be doing the mods on client side or on the server side?
So like Minecraft servers mostly have already some kind of server-side software. It's called plugins. It is not that performance. I would say it's a stable ecosystem. Like people are writing constantly when they're creating servers. They're installing some kind of plugin for authorization, for some kind of game modes, etc. But we want to introduce this kind of client-side modes, like new animals, new pets, new items to the game, because that's what's done bad with the Minecraft. Like these mods are not stable. We will try to stabilize the ecosystem so that players will have this, oh, okay, like for example 1 year ago they would say, oh yeah, I don't want to create a Minecraft server with mods because it will be really messy. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how fast it will work, this server, how many players will fit. And with our power, I would say, we try to change that so that players will, oh yeah, no problem. Now I can easily host mode servers on the craft serve. So there's no problem with that. So I will just go on the website, click what mods do I want to use, and create server. So, I mean, but there comes the problem, because this is open source, and I guess like every open source, it tends to be messy. So you're relying on other developers, right? You're relying on how do they write their code, and the problem is that if we are hosting mods and they are not our mods, we need to try to optimize the engine, like game engine, server engine, for example, or we will need to, I don't know, like maybe contribute to maintainers of most popular mods to, I don't know, like try to make these mods better. Like we know that, for example, 60% of our players on Minecraft server hosted in our company are using this mod. So why we shouldn't contribute to maintainer of this mod, so he can like improve his code, improve his performance, etc. Right? So we don't know yet how we'll achieve that, but we'll see. But that's our idea.
This brings some questions to mind. I really like using browser plugins. So I have browser plugins for everything, like dark mode, turn off ads, whatever, just all that kind of stuff. And what you could do, specifically on Firefox, and I'm sure on Google as well, is you can go to this plugin store, and you get these badges that say verified. So when you're working with open source code, another issue that I'm sure will be something that comes up is security. So there are developers that write, like a nice mod, a nice plugin, and that plugin also has something that's scraping your data or, sending you packages of whatever harmful programs onto your computer. So you have to, in a way, verify that each plugin is doing what it says it does, and that it won't put the computers that either you own or the client owns at risk. Is there anything like that already with mods?
I mean, there are marketplaces, right? There are a few marketplaces for mods, plugins for Minecraft servers, but I mean, if we are doing this right, we'll probably create our registry of verified plugins and verified mods, because I mean, it's best thing to do, like to have your own registry of software, right? You have control over it. You can, for now we are giving ability for our customers to install whatever server software they need. So they just put a file in their server and it works if code works. But we don't want to do that often as they do now, because customers many times they they download many shitty code from internet, and they're just okay, I'm gonna put it here, let's see if it works. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it affects the performance of server, and they are complaining about it. Oh, my server is running slow, blah blah blah. It's running slow because you installed the wrong software. So yeah, if you are in the situation when they can install whatever, the best way is to promote your own registry. So like make it easy for them to choose from selected software. Like we know that it works, we know that it's verified in some way. But I mean, always with the open source, it comes the risk or the danger of that creator maintainer will do something harmful. For example, I don't know, like a few years back, I think that was like some kind of JavaScript library, like big, used for dates, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and they I don't know, like promoted Christmas, and that was the big drama over it, because they spammed in console something like Merry Christmas or something like that in JavaScript, and many projects use that library. It got updated in the Christmas time, and like people were starting to complain, oh, on your site there is Merry Christmas in console, and it's bad because blah blah blah, I'm not a Christian, etc. And I mean, it's open source, someone put that there, you updated your code, you updated your dependencies, and it went like that. So I mean, security, like this tight security, means that you need to really revision every change in your dependencies, every change in what you are using, right?
Yeah.
And it's hard.
It's
hard,
especially with JavaScript. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, coming from my world, yeah, I'm sure you're familiar with this. You install one package, that package installs 10 packages.
Yeah.
Those packages install more packages, and you end up with this mess.
This whole graph of dependencies.
And then when, like on GitHub, let's say I want to update something because like I want to update the ethers package so that I can get a new feature. I update that, 2 other things break, and it's like an endless hellscape of going through and filtering and cleaning up. What I would envision, a great way to handle this is that you handle it on the developer side, right? So in the repository, you create a branch, and let's say Minecraft version stable 1, and then you freeze that branch, so no code updates. Yeah. And then you take that branch specifically and you show it in your website, in your registry. Yeah. And people can use that, and now you know, 1, it's frozen, nobody's going to be updating it, they can't like change anything or break anything. So I would see that being useful in that scenario. I do want to take some time and get a little bit into the more technical details.
Yeah, sure.
So are you involved in the programming and the tech side of this, or are you mostly involved in the management and?
Oh no, I'm doing also team leading and programming and architecture stuff. So I'm doing mostly what I'm doing past 1 year is writing our product to Kubernetes, so that we can scale more easily for the customers. Because when like you have spikes of the customers, like for example, there is a hype for Minecraft because I don't know, update got in. People are, there's update to Minecraft, maybe I will play Minecraft again, and they are installing Minecraft. They are trying to, I will create a server for me and my friends. We'll see what's going on with the Minecraft, right? And then we have the spike. So how do we handle spikes? You need to add more servers, more machines to your clusters, right? And for now, because it's an old product, we are doing this very manually. And now we are trying to move out to Kubernetes, and it can be automated. Like, we know that there will be spike, or spike started 2 hours ago, and we are already adding machines. Like it does not need like any sysadmin or DevOps to do it. So like just we send a request, add another machine to our hosting provider, machine provider, and they will add it for us. So they will add to Kubernetes cluster and will scale horizontally.
We had a Kubernetes cluster, and we were using Docker and DigitalOcean to host one of our apps. And we didn't have many users. Like, it's a website, it does a lot of things in terms of API calls and all that. That doesn't do much, right? I don't think it's complicated. I don't think there was too many people using the product. But we noticed that the cost is very, very high for our cluster. Maybe that's because of something that we had not optimized. But the question is, how are you managing the cost of hosting these Kubernetes machines and like these clusters, and does it get expensive? Does the price depend on something that's out of your control?
So I mean, if you're doing this kind of service, when you basically a middleman, because we are the middleman, right? People they don't know how, or they don't want to set up a Minecraft server themselves. So we created a software that automates it for them, easy website, etc. They don't want to use like virtual private servers. They don't want to rent a whole machine. So we are middleman, and when you are a middleman, your basic and primary focus is that you need to balance a performance. So when I'm hosting server for myself as a technical person, I can just, I don't know, like rent whole machine for myself, only me, right? Whole machine is for me, whole CPU is for me. And when you're doing, when I'm buying server on like hosting like that, I am paying a bit more that I would pay for like hosting it myself, but they automate many things for me. So as a middleman, you need to optimize. Okay, I have that many people that will buy server from me, so I need to feed them on the same machine. So it's like that's what the shard servers are, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you have one CPU, and as long as the CPU is not overworked, it's good, right? So you are pushing servers on the same machine, and many players, if they are hosting a Minecraft server, they are playing for like 1 week.
Yeah.
Right. So if they are playing for 1 week only, and then they are stopping playing, or they are playing much less, that means this server is no longer in use. And if it's not in use, we could turn it off. But they are paying for the whole month.
Mm-hmm.
So we have like 3 weeks of money
Mm-hmm.
for 1 week of running server, right?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, because if they're renting it for a month, they're not on the game all day, every day. That makes sense. Okay, so that gives me a bit more background on how this works. I've played Minecraft before. I've never thought about all this. My partner handles all the hosting. I think she even does it in Poland, although I'm not really sure. So you said you've been with the company for 4 years, and how long has the company been around before you?
From 2011.
2011, so that's 12. Okay. How did you manage to expand and take over the majority of the market? Was there no competition at the start when you guys started this?
Yeah. I mean, Minecraft was quite young then, and in many businesses it's about being fast, right? You need to be fast. You need to create your product fast. You have idea, just take it over. Like for example, ChatGPT, now trendy topic, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Google has its own AIs, chatbots, etc. They have it, but they didn't test it out publicly.
Mm.
ChatGPT, like, it went for the people to use, right? It's trendy, so it starts to attract affection from people. So, I mean, being fast is probably one of the most important factors of building businesses. I think if you have idea, create it. If you have resources to do it, create it immediately. If you don't have resources for that, I mean, find more resources like fundings, developers, people that will work with you, or try to make it still, but as a minimum viable product, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what the MVPs are for. I mean, in the last 5 years, I think like the word MVP, it lost many of the sense now, because people started to look at minimum viable products as a way of getting to the investors' money, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's good because, okay, you're creating MVP, you will get an investor money, but what's after? You created something and you don't use it because you think that's only for the investors' purposes. I mean, if you're building product, you should build a product for customers and show investors that, oh, hey, I have this product, customers are already using it, just look at it. It's working, right? MVP should be working. MVP, it's not only a demonstration.
Mm-hmm.
So
this rings true. Last year I took a couple of jobs building out MVPs for startups. I was doing that for a while as my main focus, and one of the biggest issues all of them had is that they all built this thing and they won't release it to the public. They take it to universities, they take it to sponsors, but they don't just put it out there, which is, I think, the most important part. And I agree with you. It is more costly, it is more difficult, and it takes guts to do that. But if you don't get it out and see that, like, okay, people actually do want to use this, I don't think an investor is going to think twice about what you did. You like, okay, there's dozens of apps that do almost the same thing, right? Because you're not really building something completely new and fresh that no one's ever done, most likely. So it's good to hear that. I think the difficulty ends up being, how do you reach the customer? So a lot of people, they want to make money, and that's why they start a business. They're not thinking of, I want people to use my product. Most people, right? Most CEOs and founders that I've worked with, they want to make money. And the missing link is like that customer research, figuring out what people want, how they want it, what the price should be, how to get it out to market. Have you had any experience doing this, like taking things to market, or have you mostly been on the tech side?
I mean, the biggest problem right now we are facing is, how do we get to the German customer? Like, how do we will get a German customer? How do we bring them to us? And we did that. We did that for a long time in Poland by influencers, and I think for us it will be the same way. So we are building the relationship with the influencers, and by the influencers we are building a relationship between viewers and fans of these influencers to our company. And I mean, it's our customer strategy, how to gather customers, right?
So going to the influencer who already has a connection to the customer.
Yeah, because I mean, if you will get along with the influencer, and the best way, if you will get along by not paying money to them, by sharing some kind of things for them, or making their life more easy for them, and they will give you in exchange some kind of screen time of your product, or some kind of promotion, and you are not paying for it, I think that's the best way of gathering the customers. But like many companies and startups, I think nowadays are not like, some guy is sitting on the couch and he's like, oh yeah, I have idea, and he starts to implement it. He starts to found that idea. He's finding developers, marketers, sales, etc. He's getting investor money, but not in the single moment he was thinking, okay, but that's my idea. What if the customers wants something similar, but not the same as what I'm creating right now? Mm-hmm. So I think like this customer research, like demonstrating things to customers, like, hey, I have this idea, can you look, would you use it? If not, why not? And if you would use it, what's missing, etc., etc. I think that's the most important for businesses. Like, they should know what their customer really want, and they should take advantage of what they don't want. Like, you also should know what irritates your customers. Like, it can be really things like, I don't know, design. For example, many designs are not specified for many brands. Like, sometimes want to create a luxury brand, you need to have a luxury design, right? You need to know that everything should be consistent. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, getting to know your customer, their needs, their views, what they want from product, and sometimes surprising them, but adding things that they wouldn't think of, like, oh yeah, maybe I could do that, and then you're like, oh yeah, you already can do that. Like, we don't need to implement, we already have this. And they're like, oh, I didn't know, like, you're building something like that. Oh yeah, we did, because we knew that you will be using this, and the customer's happy. So that's for me that's the biggest missing part in businesses. Like doing marketing is okay, but having to know your customers is more important.
Mm-hmm. I want to recap what I just heard to make sure I understood it right. So from what I understood, you need to focus on going through people with already established brands and that already have a connection to their customers.
Yeah.
It helps you, like, it's a shortcut basically. You don't have to do much in terms of marketing and advertising and sales when you can go directly through somebody. Two, if the influencer or the brand that you're using to reach customers, if they need something from you, like you provide a company, you host servers for Minecraft players. If they play Minecraft, you can host their server for free, do mod packs for them for free, and that gives you also access to their client or to their watchers, right? And then 3 is doing the customer market research, like figuring out what your customer wants and what they don't want, and taking the time to actually to get to know your customers over just pushing things out there. It's so difficult to implementation is the tough part. People have a hard time implementing this advice because they think that you could just go online, start selling, putting ads out there. I don't personally. I've never bought anything I've seen in an ad.
I bought.
You have?
Yeah, many things actually. But I mean, like many times people are just, they are so, I don't know how to say, they are like excited about their ideas, right? Because, oh yeah, my idea is, it will change the world. It may not. It may be a shitty idea. But I mean, you don't know exactly, right?
Yeah, you don't.
You don't. And you need to try it out. And many people are only thinking, okay, now I have idea, I will execute this immediately. And they are executing this and they are not getting much response. And what they are saying, oh yeah, there's lack of marketing, there's lack of features, there's lack of whatever. No, like your idea, that's the problem. not the product you created, not the marketing team, not the developers that created your product. Your idea didn't catch up. If it catch up, like you have idea and people are like, oh yeah, that's a great idea, I will use it, and they are really starting to use it, like small amounts customers, and they are excited about it. Yeah, it changed my life, it changed my work, it changed my, I don't know, living life. Like if they are really excited, these first customers, if they're using it like all the time or like most of the time, and they are inviting their friends to use this app, inviting friends to use your business, it's a good idea, but you don't know that until you test it out, right? And many people are pushing things even it did not work out in the first sight. It's like love. You need to see and you're madly in love with it. And there are apps like, for example, I don't know, like when I installed Uber first time, I don't know when, but it was like a few years ago, it was immediately for me, this is convenient for me, I will use it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's already like you installed it and you didn't remove it. I mean, maybe someone was low, I'm paying too much for Uber, I need to remove it for a few days, for a few,
and then I'll
few
download
months,
it
and then we'll download it again, right?
Yeah.
So they are recurring to it in any way. And if someone is installing an app and they are, oh yeah, nice, and they are, uninstalling this after 2 days, yeah, maybe I will use it someday. Yeah, they say to you, oh yeah, that's a great idea, maybe I will use it someday, and they don't know if they will use it. I mean, your customer should, when he for the first time, when he sees your app, sees your idea, sees your opportunity, how your application website can change his life, and this customer is like, yeah, I will definitely use it, I will keep that. So if this turns out, you have great idea. if it not, your idea is not that good.
Think about how rare it is to download a new app nowadays. I remember what you're talking about, what you were describing with Uber for me was the day I installed Meetup.
Yeah.
And I found a group of potheads in the park. They put up on 420 in a country where it's illegal. They put up like a meetup, 420 meetup, smoking in the park. And I went and I was like, okay, this is it. This is the best app I've ever used, right?
Yeah.
And I've had this with multiple different apps that I cannot remove it from my phone because it makes my life better in every way. But what I've noticed is that over time, the amount of apps that I install and think are good and that I keep is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. One thing a lot of people, like when they're trying to build a new product, they think, everything's already been done before. And at this point, I feel in the app world, a lot of things have already been done before.
There's this saying, like, the startup founder comes to investor, and it says, like, it describes his idea, and the investor is like, looking at the spreadsheets, calculating the cost, and he's saying, it's Uber, but for something else.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that the world is changing fast, and this situation that we have now, that we think, oh yeah, there's no much to do because everything is probably already done, right? I don't know, like, for example, for me, last 10 days, I was getting pretty heavily to less waste, zero waste movement, like, wasting less food, wasting less plastic, etc. So I was like googling it, and then I saw this app called Vegetables Fight or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, it gives you ability to buy a bit damaged vegetables, not good looking vegetables for the lower price.
Mm-hmm.
I installed the app. I didn't use it yet, but I didn't use it yet because I think the idea is good, but app was made shitty for me. It could be done better. As a technical person, I catch up with this many times that I look at the app, I look at the website, and I'm like, oh yeah, I could have done it better, right?
Mm-hmm.
It would be easier to use. So, but the idea is nice because it's this less waste trend is like with us for how long? 10 years, maybe 15. Like, people are starting to getting excited about it, right?
Yeah.
Because of the situationship with climate change, etc. So I don't know, like, I think with the change of the world, there will be ideas that will need to be implemented. Like, we just need to, for example, I was lots of thinking about social media. Like, I do think that they are broken, but that's like the whole another topic, right?
Man, I want to go into this topic eventually, if you still want to. But
sure, we can. But I mean, what I want to say is that I was thinking about social media, and I came to the point that I maybe know what social media should be about than it's now. Like, what is about Facebook? Ads mostly, and your screen time, right?
Yeah.
And social media shouldn't be about that. It's about connecting people.
Yes.
And I was thinking a lot about that, but the world is not there yet. I think that you cannot implement something that the world is not ready for it. Like, people are not ready for it, and because they are too blind with the pluses of Facebook, and they are like, yeah, why should I change that? It does not harm to me. So I mean, when people will see that, I don't know, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook hurts them, right, in specific way, they will think, okay, maybe I should use another app because this company is making my life a nightmare. And that will be the time to implement a new kind of social media. But for now, the idea may be good, but it will not catch up. So
I want to delve into this topic of social media a bit because it is a very, very important topic, and I've had this conversation with Robert on the podcast before. Because when I was younger, I used Facebook. It was the first social media platform that I used, and I used it heavily. All my friendships were there, all my relationships were there. I would use the groups, and this is when I was like 14, 15, 16, 17. I think that's when I started getting disenfranchised with it. Yeah. And the first couple of years I was using it, it was a good platform. It was a good platform. There weren't many ads. I don't think it was trying to incentivize you to constantly be using it in a consumeristic way.
It was genuinely, like, it was to connect.
Yes, it was to connect. And it had built-in games. So I can go into the Facebook chat and I can start a chess game with my friend and we can play this game. And I feel like lately that's become less and less of the focus. And it's more and more into turning people into consumers. And now with consumerism, the way you get people invested in something is to play on their emotions. So that's why there's always there is too much content out there that's negative. It's negative, and it's negative on purpose. And it's also meant to make you angry and upset. And it's meant to make people argue in the comments because that drives attention. It makes the numbers go up. So a good alternative for me has been Meetup. It's a lot less practical in terms of international relationships and connections, but on a local level, it works really well. It does what it says it's going to do. You find what you need, and you can filter through it. You can make sure everything's right before you invest your time and energy in something. I don't see anything like that on the international level. Something that you can connect with people that are like you, that you could either work with or play with or have a relationship with, and I don't know what exactly we can do to change that.
To be honest, I think that, for example, Meetup, right? Meetup is a good app, as you have said, but it lacks of features. In my opinion, it lacks of many features, even on the local level, like this whole building community thing, it's not that good, etc. And I think that the most important part of the Facebook right now, like for me, and I don't use a Facebook a lot right now, like in the last 5 years, is that you have these groups, right? Back in the day, in 2010, we had forums. We had you would register account. It would be only account on this forum. There will be tons of forums, topics, etc., etc. And that was good. And Facebook turned it out to be a more casual, right? Because on the forum it was divided to sections, divided to categories, etc., etc. And now Facebook is okay, if you want to have specified group, just create it and add, I don't know, okay, so it will be programmers and there's specify only front-end developers, right? So it's more casual. And I think that social media should be really casual. When the Facebook started, it was only about adding to friends, right? Oh yeah, I know some guy in other university, I will add him, will message maybe sometime. And that was genuinely nice to connect. And now, if we could create another social media app, it should be about connecting people. It shouldn't be about promoting opinions. It shouldn't be about promoting any kind of content less short content or propaganda or some kind of way. We are just looking at this from point of social media. If I wanted to create social media, it should be about having friends, doing something with friends, maybe some kind of groups for discussion, but there shouldn't be this whole idea, because Facebook now is so universal. You have everything. You have media, you have, I don't know, politicians, you have scientists, they are posting, they are publishing. Oh yeah, check out my work.
You have marketplaces.
Yeah, marketplaces. It's too much.
It's too much. I think I agree with that.
You're overwhelmed by this, and social media should be about, yeah, I can connect, I can message with my friend, I can maybe play chess with him, I can play any other game with him, maybe. I can go on the discussion group, but it should be like discussion group between people and not between companies and products and public figures, right? Mm-hmm. If I will be on some kind of discussion group, I don't want to feel like I am the only consumer of informations posted on that group. Like, I want to be part of it. And on the Facebook, you're on the feed of the Facebook, like you're scrolling, oh, this politician said that, there is a media company that is posting, I don't know, some kind of news about your town, another media company is posting something about, I don't know, scientific research, because it tends to be your interest. I mean, if I would be interested to read something like that, I would go to application for it. Like, I would go to application that collects feed of my interests. But for social media, I want to connect with people, not with the companies.
I understand. I think the biggest flaw I see in social media right now is that in order to get more people to use your product and to get more money extracted out of the system, people that work in these companies, the CEOs, the marketing teams, they hire psychiatrists, psychologists, therapists. They hire people that are able to manipulate and understand the human mind. Like, they can exploit weaknesses in the human mind, and that's being weaponized against people. I think Facebook is still under some court case about experimenting on people without their, which is illegal. You're not supposed to experiment on people without their knowledge or their consent, because it could change the way they think. And when I go on YouTube, and I don't consider YouTube a social media, but everybody is now doing this long content. Facebook, Twitter, they're all doing this long form content that is similar to YouTube. Let's say you start watching some videos about a certain topic, and then your feed, this is collecting this information, and it's pushing you content that it thinks you're going to like, or that it thinks is beneficial to the system. And so you are being directed in a certain path in life that you might not necessarily agree with or want to be in, and they're doing it to you without your conscious, like you're not thinking, oh, maybe I'm becoming more radicalized towards this idea, or I'm being turned into a perfect consumer, which is what all these apps want from you. Whenever I see an application that doesn't have this ad stuff, it makes a lot of sense. But then the question ends up being, how do you make that happen? Because it costs money to host these ads.
How do you monetize?
How do you even make it self-sustainable?
Oh, self-sustainable. So we are not even talking about profits. I do believe that it should be done by paid internet. I mean, I know there's not lots of fans of idea of paying for internet and for apps, etc. But for example, I am subscribing to Bloomberg newspaper. I would say, right? I am subscribing to Forbes. I am subscribing to Washington Post, right? So, what I'm saying is that I am paying you guys in the Washington Post to create a content for me, because I am interested what you're doing. You're doing this good. If you lose quality, I will just stop paying you, because if you lose quality, or you will, I don't know, start changing topics, or you will start promoting me ideas that I do not like, I will just stop paying you, because it's worthless to me, right? And I should, like, social media should be also about that I should pay for getting connected with my friends. I should pay for having a place where I can talk with them, discuss with them things, create discussion groups, etc. I should pay for that because then I'm not a product itself. So social media is not trying to sell me anything. Social media for me is only for me to connect with people, and not the other way around. Because I mean, people really like the idea that Facebook is free and you can use it everywhere, not paying, etc. But it became, because it needed to be monetized, it became this more of the relationship between us as a product sell to companies, right? Like companies fight over us.
Yes.
They're fighting like in the markets for the last product in shelf. Oh yeah, I want to get him because I will convince him, or he's easy to manipulate. I will convince him, persuade to like my ideas, etc. So I think that people should start thinking about, maybe I should pay for things that are good for me, that I am using, right? So because if I am, I don't know, like going to the gym, I'm paying for it, right? It is not, and no one is getting angry about it, right? Like I wouldn't be angry that gym is raising prices, because okay, they have costs, they are improving this gym better. I could choose another gym that is cheaper, but I know that they are doing this something good, so they are raising prices. So I mean, in the internet, people don't quite get that. Like I think they started to think as the internet about just free place.
Yeah. I pay for products that I use. I have like Discord is my favorite app in terms of communication and group management. I pay for that. I pay for Twitter. I pay for YouTube. I don't like having ads shoved down my throat every day.
Yeah.
It's not fun. And
ads and opinions.
Ads and opinions as well. And the reason I don't like feeling like my brain is up for sale. And I think that's what most apps tend to do right now. And every app that I use that's worth using, I paid for, because you always have to think of it from we have to change our perspectives on the way we think about what our money is worth, right? People are like, if we don't have to pay for it, I'm just not going to pay for it. And you can do that, but you're paying somewhere else. There's no such thing as not paying, unless you're hosting it on your own stuff and you're managing the code, and like that's time and energy and effort that people have to put to make the service available to you.
Time is also money, so
time is money, yeah. And this change needs to happen in the next generation. I don't think it's a change that can happen to people that are alive right now. The way I would envision a good social media app to work, or a good app in general, is when you start and you're creating your account, it pushes you directly towards the paid version where it's self-sustaining, there's no ads, you're not a product, you're using this to better your life. Or they can give you like a free trial of the paid version, and then you can choose. And if you want to use the free version, then they should take you through like different screens and tell you, we can offer this service for free, but there's going to be ads, that you're going to have less control, you're going to have less features, and that way, even because at the end of the day, companies need to at least sustain themselves, if not make profit. So there needs to be a way to do that.
That's funny part, because you said about how to create app that pushes you towards the paid version, right? Mm-hmm. And the best way, I think, in the last years of company that did it the best way it possible could be, was Spotify. Because like, what's the biggest issue with free version of Spotify? Like,
the ads. They just like tell you and also like you can't choose the song, you can choose the album.
You can choose the song, you can create playlists. Mm-hmm. Like people are using playlists all the time. They are not like searching for the song all the time. Mm-hmm. They have certain liked songs, they have certain like playlist for good mood, for bad mood, for training, for practice. for walking, for I don't know, right? They have playlists, and I mean, yeah, ads. They are pretty like, oh yeah, no one likes ads. I mean, no one. I think I don't know anyone who likes to. Oh yeah, give me some products that I don't want to buy, but maybe I will. But like this is the best way of like, yeah, we'll offer you something. It's free, but it's not as good as it could be.
Yeah.
And there's a good version of that, but you need to pay us for it. Like newspaper companies, like that, they move to internet, right? They are still posting free things. Like they are doing this, like they're giving you samples. Like, hey, we create something that you like. We create a good content. You know that it's a good content because you can read the whole I don't know article about I don't know like some financial things, and then you say, oh yeah, that's a good research article about that, about the recession. So I will be paying because I want to know what's happening right now during the recession. So I will be paying this few dollars a month to get more articles like this. So I think that we really should think about giving something to the customers and like betting on that they will pay us. I don't know, in terms of social media, for example, I don't see any room for the ads. Like really, I just don't see any way of implementing ads to social media that it will be not harmful to users. I mean, I wouldn't do that. I mean, in my way. I think that we should offer really limited version of product that it can be used like you have account already, you forgot to pay, you don't have money to pay, but you still have connect to your friends, etc. But you don't have as many features as you would. I don't know, you can't use emoticons, you can use I don't know. But
I'll give two really the best examples in my world. There's also Meetup, but Meetup is I would consider it something a bit different because you pay to host like the group and people are you have Discord and you have YouTube and they do the same thing, which is this freemium. It's called freemium services. So they do the same thing, but they do it in two separate ways. Discord, there's no ads. You have an account, you can message everybody, you have like a very good product, like from the start for free. It does everything else, like everything that the paid version can do. But then you have this aesthetic and customizable paid version, right? You can have an animated GIF as a profile, you can have like everything's animated, you have those different emoticons, icons, I don't remember.
File uploading.
Yeah, file uploading, full HD video sharing, and that makes the product better. It's really good. It also gives you the ability to add forums into your group, so like it's very helpful. And then YouTube does something different where they offer you a really bad product that's free in terms of you can't save anything. You have very little control over what you get to see. There's ads constantly bombarding you. There's a lot of features that are locked, and then you pay for the paid version, and it works like it should work. Like you have control of the app. So they do it in two different ways, but they do it masterfully, and I think we need to move towards that. I don't consider Discord like a social media app. The only social media app I can think of right now is Twitter, because it seems like a social app, right? You can add people, you can communicate, and you can post.
But still, like on Twitter, I was hoping that really Elon would change that. It turns out he didn't. But Twitter also has this promotion of content. Like,
yes.
Like I don't follow many people on Twitter, like maybe 20. Not really many. And many posts are like given to me.
Yeah.
And they are promoted, and I see this as a promotion. I see their ads. That seems like a post, but it's an ad in reality. So I think that Twitter is, for me, it's really bad in terms of how they persuade you that, oh yeah, it's your field of interest. No, it does not. None of this is my interest. So I think that, for example, because you brought up Discord to the conversation, you know, if you use Discord a lot, right, this free version is not enough. You're using a lot of Discord and you're annoyed that you don't have these features. Like, there are many users on Discord that they don't need, because they are using Discord like for playing games in the weekends with friends, and that's all, right? But if you're really using it, it's like must have for you to have file uploading, HD screen sharing, and this community building thing like server boost, etc. So I think that products should be really done like Discord, that you really can use this free version. It's a good product. It fills all of your requirements. It does not push you anything that you don't like, because Discord is not pushing.
It's not pushing anything at all.
Like, they are just doing this their own thing. But if you're using it enough, you need to pay, because it annoys you. You don't have this feature, that feature.
Yeah. For me, I paid for the paid version just because of the animated profiles. I noticed since I got the animated profiles, people message me more. And it's not, I've been using it for a very long time, and I have the same amount of friends. I don't really add new people. But people are willing to message me more because I have the paid version. I don't know, it's like visually, aesthetically pleasing. Status. I would hope that people that are listening just pay for the services that they use, and I'm definitely going to be doing more of that, and not just in my work life. I'm hoping to do that in more personal things. Thank you for having this conversation. Thank you for taking the time. I really appreciate it. I will leave links to the server in the description, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Invest smarter, not harder. Ricochet Exchange helps you dollar cost average into cryptocurrencies, including ETH and Bitcoin. By dollar cost averaging, you increase your potential returns and reduce market volatility. It is an easy way to invest, and it is mostly automated. All you need is a cryptocurrency wallet like MetaMask and Coinbase, and you can connect to Ricochet Exchange. The links will be in the description. You can start a stream to any of the tokens. If you need support or help, you can contact me directly, and my links will be in the description. Thank you for listening, guys, and we'll see you in the next one.